The Manhattan socialite I had a secret crush on just had to pick up some good-for-nothing rebel. She went drinking with him, got into fights, hung out at arcades, and went from being the darling of the city to a social pariah. Just as I was arranging to break off our engagement, a line of live comments suddenly scrolled into my vision. LMAO, how could you do this? What did she do wrong? She's just trying to get your attention. Don't call off the engagement. If you just give in a little, she'll hand you the world on a silver platter. I turned my head. Outside the window, the pretty boy lazily draped his arm around Chloe Vanderbilt's slim waist, a smug grin on his face. She, in turn, nestled into his embrace with a sweet, innocent smile. I let out a small laugh and texted my lawyer back, "Proceed with drafting the annulment papers." The moment I sent the text, the comments exploded. How can you be so cruel? Poor Chloe is going to drink herself into a stupor at some bar now. Sigh, she's just proud and plays tough, and now she's lost the man she truly loves. It's fine, she'll just bankrupt Ethan's family. Then he'll have no choice but to come crawling back to her. Ethan, that's me. I stared at the comments, my anger turning into a series of cold smirks. When I glanced over again, my eyes met Chloe's. She raised a delicate eyebrow, allowing the pretty boy to keep his arm around her without a hint of guilt. Noticing the dark look on my face, the corners of her mouth curved up into a smirk. Chloe's toy boy was some kind of influencer, and the two of them looked like a picture-perfect couple, drawing a crowd of onlookers who were snapping photos. The cafe had floor-to-ceiling windows, and I had no idea if I was in the background of their little photo shoot. I cursed under my breath, stood up, and called my driver to pick me up at a different location. I didn't expect to walk right into Chloe the moment I stepped outside. "Ethan, were you just heading this way?" she asked. I forced a smile. Paying that much attention to me? Chloe's smile was bright and cheerful. The pretty boy beside her eyed me warily, but knew his place and kept his mouth shut. The memory of those comments flashed through my mind, and a fresh wave of irritation hit me. I tried to walk around them, but she grabbed my wrist. I turned back to face her as she whispered, "Are you upset?" My eyes flickered between her and the guy next to her. "Not at all. I wish you two all the best." She didn't let go. Her boy toy rolled his eyes. "Who is this guy? Can't you see you're interrupting?" He flashed an expensive watch on his wrist, shot a giddy look at Chloe, and then smirked at me. "Buddy, just jealous no one's buying you nice things?" I kept my voice even. "Are you aware she has a fiancé?" He faltered for a second before scoffing. "An arranged marriage? There are no feelings there. If Chloe actually liked the guy, would she be with me?" Chloe let out a soft laugh, her stunning eyes fixed directly on me. My expression remained neutral. I nodded, then glanced down at the delicate hand still gripping my wrist. "Let go." Chloe didn't budge, her gaze challenging. "Find another date for the gala on Saturday." Her pretty boy looked stunned for a moment, then his eyes darted over me before a smug grin spread across his face. "Oh, so you're the fiancé? Big deal. Chloe's going with me on Saturday." I did a quick mental calculation. The annulment papers should be delivered to the Vanderbilt estate by tomorrow. "Fine by me," I said. "Now can you let go?" Chloe froze, her expression hardening. "Who are you taking?" I mentally scrolled through a list of eligible young women from good families, all of them beautiful and well-connected. "I haven't decided yet," I said earnestly, "but I'm sure I can find someone suitable from my contacts." The silence was so thick you could feel your heart pound. Aside from the curious glances from shoppers on the street, the comments started popping up again. "Oh my God, she is absolutely fuming. Chloe, why can't you just back down a little? Why do you have to provoke him? Seriously, Ethan, stop being so stubborn. You have no idea what she's capable of when she's angry. She could ruin your family's company in a heartbeat and make you beg for mercy." Chloe took a step back, her voice dropping to an icy whisper. "Well played, Ethan." She was so enraged that her chest was heaving, the curve of her dress looking even more dramatic. She finally released my wrist. Before walking away, I glanced at the watch on her toy boy's wrist, then gave Chloe a long, meaningful look. "You once told me that watch was supposed to be a gift for me." With that, I turned and walked away. Chloe caught up to me, her tone unreadable. "You remember that? But I don't need it anymore," she said, her voice taking on a strange, provocative edge. "He'll hold me every day, call me his baby, and do whatever I ask." Chloe's eyes bored into me. "Is that why you gave the watch you promised me to him?" A wave of nausea churned in my stomach. The comments went wild at her words. "She's dropping hints. She can't take it anymore. Just call her your baby once, Ethan, and she'd give you anything. She literally dreams about you calling her that." I stopped walking and met her gaze, enunciating every word. "One day, I'm going to hold another woman, call her my love, and I'll spoil her and give her everything she wants, and she'll do the same for me. But that woman will never, ever be you, Chloe. Say that again. Chloe's eyes were rimmed with red, her voice a frigid whisper I had never heard before. She grabbed my arm in a death grip, refusing to let me leave. Ethan, say that again. Just then, her pretty boy caught up to them, looking confused. Chloe, what's wrong? Chloe didn't even look at him, her eyes still locked on me. The guy pouted and glared at me. Did you make her mad? She's never unhappy when she's with me. The disgust in my gut intensified. I turned my head away, not wanting to speak another word. After a long moment, Chloe's hand fell to her side. She closed her eyes, an aura of pure frustration and menace radiating from her. Even he knows better than to make me angry, she said coldly, before turning on her heel and stalking away. The toy boy immediately scurried after her, murmuring placating words. From the back, they looked like a perfect couple. The comments started up again. Ethan just refuses to bend, pushing away the one person who loves him. Why couldn't he just say something nice to her? Now he's just giving that leech an opening. Oh, for crying out loud, check Twitter. Someone just posted photos and a video of the whole thing. As soon as I got in the car, I pulled out my phone. Several of my friends had already messaged me. Dude, why are you trending on Twitter? You know that guy with your fiancée is an influencer, right? WTF, man, you're getting cheated on. Someone just sent me the pics. How dare Chloe flaunt that guy in your face? What a piece of work. That influencer with your fiancé is always on his live streams talking about some rich girl who's crazy about him and buys him everything. Turns out it's Chloe. Unbelievable. Chloe never dated anyone before this. We all said you were the luckiest guy alive. How did she end up cheating on you? I carefully crafted a few replies, then clicked on the trending topic. The photos and video were crystal clear, capturing every second of the tense confrontation between Chloe and me. The comment section was a landslide of support for the influencer, whose name was apparently Leo Hayes. This other guy just can't stand to see Leo happy. Can he? Has to try and steal his girlfriend. Did you see how annoyed Leo's girlfriend was with him? She's so good to Leo, and this creep just wouldn't leave them alone. And he just kept staring after they left, trying to look all heartbroken. Ugh, get lost, you loser. Stop trying to hit on other people's girlfriends. So my fiancée was now somebody else's girlfriend. I leaned back against the seat, staring blankly into space. The only way the story could stay trending, and even gain more traction, was if Chloe herself was pushing it. Did she really love me like those comments claimed? Was this her love? Letting the internet twist the truth and tear me to shreds with endless insults? I squeezed my eyes shut in pain. After a long moment, I made a call, my voice raspy. Get that trending topic taken down. Now. The comments flared up again. My heart breaks for Ethan. I can't watch this. If he'd just apologized and given in to her, none of this would be happening. These idiots online just jump on the bandwagon. Leo is the one who's the homewrecker. It's infuriating. Okay, Chloe is definitely going too far this time. This isn't going to be easy to kill. People are already starting to dox Ethan. If anyone at Miller Corp sees this, the stock is going to tank. My eyes stayed fixed on that last comment. As expected, my phone rang moments later. The voice on the other end was frustrated. Someone keeps paying to boost the topic. We're fighting to get it removed, but for every step we take, they push it right back up. We're getting nowhere. I said nothing. The person on the line sighed. Did you make a powerful enemy, Ethan? They're pouring a fortune into keeping this thing trending. And your fiancée? She's not doing anything, just letting it happen, because the person paying to keep it trending is my fiancée, though she wouldn't be for much longer. My father's call came through next, his voice dripping with rage. Ethan, what the hell is going on? I had to hear about this from a business associate. I took a breath. Chloe is the one who cheated. How is that my fault? She's a woman, so she cheated. So what? You should be managing her. Keep her happy, and the entire Vanderbilt fortune is within your grasp. Instead, you let this become a public spectacle. You're an embarrassment to the Miller name, my father yelled, his voice cracking with fury. I tried to explain patiently. Chloe is the one paying to keep it trending, and he's her boy toy. Dad, this has nothing to do with me. I'm already trying to get it taken down. My father just sneered. You can't even control your own woman. You're pathetic. With that, he hung up. The car rolled to a stop. We're here, Mr. Miller, the driver said. I felt like a zombie as I pushed the door open and walked towards the dark, empty house. Such high and mighty words coming from him. He was the one who had countless affairs, and when it all came out, he blamed my mother for getting old and letting herself go. He conveniently forgot that it was her inheritance that funded his first company, that she was the one who sacrificed everything for him. That night, I called Chloe. She picked up almost instantly, her voice lazy and relaxed. "Stop paying to keep that story trending," I said quietly. There was a pause on her end, then her voice lifted playfully. "Why do you sound so down? Are you sad? What is it you want, Chloe?" I asked, unable to keep the desperation out of my voice. She was silent. My voice was hoarse. "Watching me get doxxed, being called the homewrecker, seeing Miller Corp stock price plummet, does that make you happy? Are you satisfied now?" I was trembling as I said it. How could anyone be so completely, unbelievably insane? After a moment, Chloe's voice came through, slow and deliberate. "Don't cry. Do you want to see me, baby? I can come over right now." I opened my mouth, but no sound came out. I stood on the balcony, the cool night air chilling the fresh tears on my face. I felt like a complete and utter joke. Finally, I managed to force out 2 dry, difficult words. "Don't come." Chloe's voice turned cold, her tone unreadable. "What did you say, Ethan? I don't want to see you." With the last of my strength, I ended the call. I collapsed onto my bed in a daze, sleep feeling miles away. The topic was still trending, and in the family iMessage group, my relatives were all tagging me, their messages dripping with blame. Then my cousin typed, "Look, Ethan, if you can't handle Chloe, you should just step aside. Do you have any idea how much damage this is doing?" Once he started, the rest of my cousins piled on. My other cousins sent a laughing crying emoji. "This is so embarrassing, getting played by some toy boy. If I were you, I wouldn't be able to show my face in public. Chloe spends all her money on that influencer. Has she ever bought you anything? Maybe we should just swap you out of the engagement. It's obvious she doesn't like you anyway." The chat went silent after that last message. I gave a bitter laugh. I wish they could just replace me, but my father was still in charge of Miller Corp, and as his only son, he would never give up this chance to ally with the Vanderbilts. I muted the group chat and opened Facebook. The first thing in my feed was a photo from some socialites party. Front and center were Chloe and Leo. She was curled up in his arms, looking utterly content, her smile radiant. A crowd of her friends flanked them, all raising their glasses in a toast. It looked like a relationship announcement. I hit the like button, then shut off my phone. The comments flooded my vision again. "Don't be sad, Ethan. It's all an act. We all know you're the one she really loves." Her friend posted that, and I bet Chloe is checking every minute to see if you've liked it. "She's dying to see you. She was devastated when you turned her down tonight. Call her right now, Ethan. Tell her you're jealous. She'll come running back to you, I promise." I closed my eyes, numbly trying to block out the comments. I don't know how much time passed before I forced my chilled body to sit up. I sent a message to my lawyer. "Send the annulment papers to me first. I'll find the right time to give them to Chloe." I needed a day to transfer my personal assets without anyone knowing. After the gala, I would be on the first flight out of the country. By then, 2 copies of the annulment agreement would be delivered, one to my father and one to Chloe. If I stayed, even if I managed to avoid marrying Chloe, my father would just force me into another arranged marriage with some other heiress. There would be no peace. Everything was going according to plan. I had even picked out a custom tuxedo for the gala. As I walked into the ballroom, I put on a confident smile. My friends came over to greet me, asking how I was doing. One of them nudged me. "Flying solo tonight? I could introduce you to my sister." I considered it for a second. "I think I'm fine on my own. It's not like it's a crime." He laughed. "True. A date would just get in the way of us catching up." Suddenly, a stir went through the crowd nearby, and we both turned to see what was happening. It was Chloe. She was wearing a stunning, form-fitting red mermaid gown that highlighted every curve, with a glittering, sequined neckline that plunged daringly. She stood there, a vision of perfection, with a dazzling smile on her ruby-red lips. She was on Leo's arm, and they were heading our way, turning every head in the room. I thought when she said she was spending the day with him, she meant shopping or something. I never imagined she would bring him to this gala. My eyes fell on Leo's tuxedo. It was silver, identical to mine. When I had mine tailored, I was told it was the only one of its kind available in the country. The one he was wearing must have been flown in overnight from Europe. Chloe had done this on purpose to humiliate me. Sure enough, the moment Leo saw me, his face soured. He turned and muttered something to Chloe, and only then did she leisurely turn her gaze towards me. Leo strode towards me, his jaw tight. "That's a low blow, man. Did you really have someone find out what I was wearing just so you could copy me? We're both men, you don't have to play so dirty." The commotion started to draw a small crowd. My friend looked stunned. "What are you talking about?" Leo scoffed. "You're just jealous of how well Chloe treats me. It's pathetic. Besides, I look better in it anyway." My friend muttered under his breath, "You really don't." Leo's face flushed with anger. He stormed back to Chloe's side. Chloe, your fiancé is a real piece of work. He doesn't deserve you. Chloe's beautiful eyes scanned the scene, finally settling on me for a long, deliberate moment. Then, a slow smile spread across her face. The comments suddenly lit up. Ah, she smiled. She thinks Ethan looks better in it. LOL, she's totally mesmerized. Her eyes don't lie. I ship Chloe and Ethan forever. But just wait. To really push Ethan over the edge and make him come crawling back. She's about to. I was still trying to figure out what that last comment meant when a microphone screeched to life. Everyone turned to see a senior executive from the Vanderbilt Corporation holding a note card. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I have a very special announcement to make. By a resolution of Ms. Vanderbilt and the board, 2% of the Vanderbilt Corporation's shares will be gifted, unconditionally, to Mr. Leo Hayes. The entire ballroom erupted in gasps. I looked up, my mind reeling in disbelief. I knew Chloe held a significant portion of the company's stock, but there was a specific 2% trust that was earmarked for her future husband. Even 2% of a company as massive as the Vanderbilt Corporation represented an astronomical sum in annual dividends. And she had just given it to Leo, announcing it in the most public way possible. The comments were flying. There it is. The classic crazy rich girl power move. Poor Ethan, humiliated in front of everyone. Now he has no choice but to beg her for forgiveness. What is he even holding out for? She's crazy about you, man. Just punch Leo in the face, grab Chloe, and tell her you love her. Everything will go back to normal, and those shares will be yours. Under the weight of 100 pairs of mocking, curious eyes, I walked steadily towards Chloe. Her gaze never left me. I stopped right in front of her and allowed a small, cold smile to touch my lips. The annulment papers are on their way. They should be in your hands shortly. Whether the Vanderbilt Corp continues its partnership with Miller Corp is up to you. I'm done playing this game. I met her eyes, my face a mask of indifference, and then I turned to walk away. Chloe lunged forward and grabbed my wrist, her fingers digging in so hard they trembled. What do you mean? Ethan, what do you mean by that? I didn't turn around. It means the engagement is off. Is that so hard to understand? I don't agree, she shrieked, her voice tight with panic. Is this because I gave the shares to him? I frowned. We have no relationship. What you do with your company's shares has nothing to do with me. That's not true, she started. I spun around impatiently. Her eyes were red, but she pressed on, her voice pleading. Ethan, please. Anything you want, it's yours. We don't have to do this. Chloe's beautiful eyes were locked on me. I had nothing more to say to her. Let go of me. Her grip tightened, her voice turning stubborn. I'm not letting you leave. I frowned and yanked my arm free without a shred of pity. She stumbled backward in her heels, her voice filled with despair. Has it really come to this between us? My friend couldn't take it anymore. Chloe, you're the one with the boy toy on your arm, and you're still harassing Ethan? Have you no shame? Leo swore loudly. Who the hell are you calling a boy toy? Chloe loves me. My friend laughed coldly. Then why won't she let Ethan go and just marry you? Leo froze, turning to Chloe. Chloe, what are you doing? You don't even like him. Isn't this what you wanted? Chloe didn't spare anyone else a glance. The tip of her nose was red, and her eyes glistened with unshed tears. Ethan, stop this. The shares, the watch, they're all yours. What on earth makes you think I want any of it? I shot back. She reached for me again, and I shoved her hand away. Any more of this, and I would miss my flight. I said flatly, I wish you two a long and happy life together. May you have beautiful children. Chloe's lips parted as if to speak. I took another step back. Don't stop me. Don't make me lose the last shred of respect I have for you. As I walked towards the exit, the comments scrolled frantically. What is this plot twist? I thought this was the happy ending. Wasn't Ethan supposed to end up with her? I think she pushed him too far. He seems genuinely done. He's really calling it off? Who knows what she'll do now? She's crazy enough to kidnap him tomorrow. Wait, kidnapping? I'm here for it. Of course I was afraid she'd do something crazy, which was why I couldn't waste this chance. In a few hours, I'd be halfway across the world. As the plane finally lifted off the runway, I let out a long, deep sigh of relief. I'd booked the ticket in such a rush that only economy was left, but I didn't care. I pulled the brim of my cap down low. The tension that had been coiled in my chest all night finally began to unwind, and my eyelids grew heavy. Just then, a familiar scent drifted past. It was an incredibly expensive, custom-blended perfume with a light, fruity note that was anything but generic. I used to love that scent. It was Chloe's signature. My heart nearly stopped. I slowly turned my head and found myself looking into those beautiful, almond-shaped eyes, with that tiny, captivating mole at the corner. Her voice was a soft whisper. "Where are you off to?" I squeezed my eyes shut, feeling my composure crumble. The silence was deafening. "What's wrong?" she asked after a moment's hesitation, her delicate fingers gently touching my cheek. Her expression was complicated, unreadable. "I'll make sure you never have to see Leo again," she whispered. She awkwardly wrapped her arms around my waist, and her scent enveloped me. I gritted my teeth. Chloe tightened her embrace, burying her face in my chest, her voice thick with a feigned vulnerability. "You're my fiancé. Don't ever talk about leaving me again, baby." The comments were scrolling at lightning speed. "She's secretly loving this. She finally got Ethan to show he's jealous. Whoever gave her this idea is a genius. Now Ethan will be so insecure that he'll never let her out of his sight, terrified some other guy will snatch her away." I lowered my voice. "Why did you follow me? There's a girl I like here in Europe." Chloe's body went rigid. She looked up at me, her voice firm with conviction. "You're lying. You're just saying that to make me jealous. Not everyone is as manipulative as you are," I thought. I gently pushed her away. "I'll introduce you two when we land." Chloe clenched her jaw. Seeing my blank expression, she let out a sharp, angry laugh. "I don't like it when you lie like this, pretending you like someone else just to make me angry. You will never be allowed to like anyone else, ever." I turned away, staring out the window at the dark sky above the glittering city lights below. Chloe scoffed, her tone casual. "We can just hop over to a Greek island while we're here. Think of it as a pre-honeymoon. We'll get married the moment we get back to New York." She's acting all cool, but she's dying to marry him. Her heart totally stopped when he said he liked another girl, but she recovered fast, as if Ethan could ever like anyone else. "Stop saying that, Ethan. She can't handle hearing you talk about other girls. So when I give her not even a tenth of the treatment she gives me, I'm the one in the wrong?" The double standard was breathtaking. After we deplaned, I was looking up my hotel reservation on my phone. Chloe stood with her arms crossed. "So, where's this girl you like so much?" I hesitated. She raised an eyebrow, a knowing, triumphant smile on her face. Okay, no more jokes like that, all right?" She was completely convinced I'd made the whole thing up just to get a reaction out of her. That's when I saw a flash of brilliant blonde hair. "Ethan!" A young woman came jogging towards us, and the moment she reached me, she threw her arms around me in a tight hug, nuzzling her head against my chest. A sweet, floral scent filled the air. Chloe's expression instantly turned thunderous. "Who are you?" she snarled. "Get your hands off him." I steadied the young woman, putting an arm around her waist and smirking at Chloe. "I told you, didn't I?" The girl's bright, amber eyes darted between Chloe and me. Just when I thought my bluff was about to be called, she squeezed my hand and shot Chloe a sharp grin. "And who are you? Why are you interrupting us?" The words were barely out of her mouth when Chloe's hand flew towards her face. I moved instantly, stepping in front of the girl. The slap stopped an inch from my cheek. The girl looked completely stunned. Chloe was breathing heavily, her face pale with rage. "Ethan," she seethed, "I am your fiancé." I replied airily, "Didn't your butler inform you that the annulment papers were delivered?" Chloe gritted her teeth. "I didn't sign them. Your signature isn't required," I said, my patience wearing thin. I took the young woman's hand and gave her a gentle smile. "Let's go. My hotel is this way." A dark cloud passed over Chloe's face, replaced by a mocking sneer. "Ethan, aren't you afraid that if you push this too far, I might just decide I'm done with you?" I gave her a quiet, steady look before turning away. She wasn't the one who had pushed things too far. "You had better hope you never need anything from me," she hissed, before turning sharply and walking away. "No, don't leave. It's over. She's going to destroy Miller Corp now, just to force Ethan to come crawling back." Ethan really crossed a line this time. Why did he have to bring another woman into this just to spite her? A dull ache spread through my chest. Why were even these strange comments taking her side? Why was it that when we both did the exact same thing, the judgment and consequences were so completely different? I tried to hide the pain in my eyes, but just then, I felt a soft touch. I looked up, surprised, to see the young woman had placed my hand on her wavy blonde hair. She smiled. "I saw on your Instagram you've liked a lot of photos of golden retrievers. You can pretend I'm one if you want." I pulled my hand back as if I'd been shocked. "That's not necessary, but thank you for your help back there. I'll add a bonus to your payment." She accepted immediately. "Okay, sounds good. Thanks." It wasn't until I was sitting in the passenger seat of her car that I really got a good look at her. Her golden curls cascaded down her back, giving her an air of cheerful innocence. Her skin was fair and flawless, and her large, almond-shaped eyes seemed to be permanently curved into a smile. She just looked so young. How old are you? I asked. 19, she replied, expertly navigating a turn. I'm legal. What's your name? You can call me Lily. I nodded and left it at that. She was quiet for the rest of the drive and didn't ask any questions about Chloe. When we got to the hotel, she pulled out a small notebook. I've put together a suggested itinerary for the next few days, if you'd like to take a look. I cut her off. Are you short on money? She looked taken aback. What's wrong with a part-time job? Looking into her bright, amber eyes, I was tempted to offer to support her financially, but I bit my tongue. I couldn't be like Chloe. The offer itself would be an insult. I just shook my head. As I was about to offer her a larger bonus, my eyes caught the necklace she was wearing. I quickly averted my gaze. We got to the hotel, and I crashed. When I woke up, my phone had exploded with notifications. Half were missed calls from my father. I knew without asking that Chloe had made her move against his company. But what did that have to do with me? I had already liquidated my holdings and moved the funds. Even if my father went bankrupt, it wouldn't affect me. The other half of the calls were from Chloe. My iMessage was also flooded with texts from her. What are you doing? Why won't you answer my calls? Are you with her? Ethan, your father saved my mother's life. That's the only reason I agreed to this engagement. And this is how you repay that debt? By running around with some other girl. Come back to New York right now, and I'll pretend none of this ever happened. I tapped my screen a few times, blocked her number, and deleted the conversation. Scrolling through my other messages, I finally found a single, pleasant text in the midst of all the chaos. It was from Lily. Good morning. I'm on my way to pick you up. Don't forget your sunglasses. It's super bright out today. I replied, got it. And then, out of boredom, I opened her Instagram profile. I scrolled back through her posts until I found one from a few days ago. It was a photo of an invitation, with the caption, "And we're off." I sat bolt upright, staring at the picture for a long moment before I started to laugh. It was an invitation to a private Vanderbilt family event. No wonder. It all made sense now. A woman as possessive and impulsive as Chloe would never have just let me walk away with another girl last night. She would have made a scene, probably tried to drag me back to the States herself. She wouldn't have resorted to empty threats over text. No wonder Lily claimed to be a student working a part-time job while wearing a Van Cleef Arpels necklace. Chloe had sent her own cousin, one I'd never met, to find me. Was she here to spy on me? As I was piecing it together, the comments appeared. So the new girl is her cousin. Whoa, that's a new plot twist. Chloe must be so conflicted right now. She wants her cousin to spy on Ethan, but she's terrified he'll actually fall for the cute cousin. She was genuinely furious last night. Even knowing it was her cousin, she lost it the second she saw another girl with Ethan. Don't worry, Ethan's about to go running back to her. The cousin is going to drug his coffee, then Chloe will swoop in and save him. He'll fall head over heels for his damsel rescuing a dude. There was a knock at the door. I opened it to find Lily, a bright smile on her face. Good morning, she chirped, holding up a paper bag. I was worried you might not like the hotel breakfast, so I brought you something from a little cafe I know. I took the bag with a smile. Thank you. I stepped aside to let her in. While her back was turned, I quickly texted Lily's number to a friend of mine back in the States, telling him I was setting him up with a gorgeous girl. Less than a minute later, Lily's phone rang. She answered, looking confused, and then struggled to keep up as my friend launched into a full-on charm offensive. I quickly made a cup of instant coffee, poured the contents of the breakfast drink she'd brought into it, and handed it to her. Here, try this. It's a special blend I brought from home. She took it automatically, taking a sip and frowning slightly at the taste, but she was too distracted by the conversation to comment. Finally, losing patience, Lily tilted her head back and drained the cup. I started a silent countdown in my head. The moment she finally managed to hang up the phone, the beautiful blonde girl collapsed onto the floor. The woman on the bed woke with a start, her eyes flying open. Her hands and feet were tied to the four posts of the bed frame. I glanced over at her. Her face was pale, but after staring at me for a moment, a slow smile spread across her lips. How did you know? Because for once, those comments were actually useful. I tilted her chin up with my finger. You really are beautiful. Lily let me study her face. More beautiful than my cousin? I didn't answer, letting my gaze travel down her collarbone to where my finger rested on her rapidly beating heart. Fine, tie me up, she said, her voice a little breathless. But did you have to take my clothes off? I didn't answer her question, just observed. You're not as thin as you look. Of course not, she replied. With her cover blown, the innocent girl from yesterday was gone, replaced by a spoiled, arrogant heiress. I pulled off her underwear and took several photos with my phone. I'm sure you wouldn't want anyone else to see these, would you? Her expression stiffened for a second, then she gave a light laugh. I look so good, though. Are you sure you could bring yourself to share? Maybe you should just keep them for your private collection. I pulled out the fruit knife I'd bought earlier. The color drained from her face. I'm sorry, she whimpered, her voice suddenly small and meek. Please, don't hurt me. What did Chloe send you here to do? I demanded. She hesitated. She told me to make sure you didn't get involved with any other women. And then what? And then, I was supposed to arrange a fake mugging, so she could show up and save you. I shook my head slowly. Your whole family is unbelievable. Just then, the hotel room door burst open. Chloe rushed in, then froze, her face instantly contorting with rage as she took in the scene. What are you? I turned my head and smiled at her. Your cousin has a great body. I'm a big fan. What did you just say? Chloe snarled, yanking me to my feet by my wrist. Her venomous glare was fixed on Lily. Did you seduce him? Lily just gave a helpless little smile. If that's what you want to believe, sure. Chloe slapped her hard across the face. You hit me, Lily cried out, wincing in pain. Tied to the bed, she was helpless as Chloe hit her again and again. Finally, Lily lay there, bruised and defeated. I'm telling my dad, she sobbed. Chloe, finished with her assault, calmly called her assistant and told them to send a private ambulance. I watched the whole thing without a word. After Lily was taken away and the room was put back in order, it was just the two of us again. I finally looked her straight in the eye. I don't know if you're incapable of understanding or just refuse to listen. I wasn't trying to make you jealous. I said I like someone else because I wanted you to leave me alone. I don't love you anymore. I don't want anything to do with you. Do you understand? She looked stunned. I pointed to the now empty bed, all my pent-up anger and disappointment finally boiling over. You had her drug me so you could play the hero? So I'd be indebted to you? Chloe, don't you see how pathetic that is? The thought that I ever loved you makes me sick to my stomach. I was shouting, and she looked genuinely frightened. She started to reach for me and I backed away. I don't love you anymore, I said, my voice dripping with scorn. Stop lying to yourself. The only feelings I have left for you are hatred and disgust. Are you serious? Chloe's eyelashes fluttered. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you'd be so upset about this. I won't do it again. I let out a harsh, disbelieving laugh. Did she really think this was just about her little scheme with Lily? I threw the envelope I'd received that morning at her feet. The photos Leo had sent spilled out onto the floor. Chloe, there is no future for us. She bent down and picked one up, her voice raspy. He dared to send you these? Ethan, it was all an act. I was just trying to make you jealous. She looked at me, her eyes pleading. I'll make him pay for this, I swear. I just laughed coldly. Whatever you do is your business. It has nothing to do with me. Just leave me alone. She opened her mouth to say something, but seemed to choke on the words. Did you fall for Lily? She finally managed to ask. Neither of you deserves to be loved by anyone, I yelled. Stop torturing me. Every second you're near me makes me want to vomit. She tried to step closer, so I grabbed a water glass from the table and smashed it on the floor. I picked up a large shard and held it out in front of me. She didn't stop. She walked right into it, letting the glass slice into her hand as she reached for my face. What do I have to do to make you forgive me? I turned my head away. Disappear from my life, and never bother me again. She fell silent. The metallic scent of blood filled the air. I watched it drip onto the carpet. If you die in my hotel room, I'll have to deal with the body. That would be a huge inconvenience. Chloe looked down, her lips pale. I was wrong. I just wanted you to care about me. No one ever taught me how to love someone. I had no interest in debating the point with her. I'll do whatever it takes to make it up to you, she said, turning to leave. Her shoulders slumped in a picture of lonely despair. Chloe, I said. She spun around, a hopeful light in her eyes. Clean up your blood. We can't expect the housekeeping staff to deal with your mess. The hope in her eyes flickered and died. She grabbed some tissues from the desk, wet them, and knelt to clean the floor. I glanced at her once, then went to the other side of the room, opened my laptop, and started working. Close the door on your way out. Chloe just murmured a quiet, okay. I didn't look up until I heard the door click shut. The room was empty and spotless. The floor was clean. I had sent Chloe annulment papers. She sent back a stock transfer agreement. Along with it was a watch. The bezel was so encrusted with diamonds it was almost blinding. I looked it up. Its auction price had an extra zero compared to the one I'd originally wanted. I read through the agreement. Chloe had transferred her entire personal stake in the Vanderbilt Corporation to me, holding nothing back. I unblocked her number and called her. Have you thought this through? I asked. If I accept this and then immediately dump all the shares on the market, it would crater your stock price and could trigger a hostile takeover. Your entire company would be vulnerable. She whispered my name, Ethan. She hadn't called me that since we were in high school. If you want to keep them, the dividends are all yours. If you want to sell them to vent your anger, that's fine too, she said, and I thought I heard the ghost of a smile in her voice. It's completely up to you. I laughed coldly. If I were your parents, or any of the other shareholders, I'd have you committed. She was quiet for a long moment. I'm sorry, Ethan, was all she said. I didn't respond. After a moment, she continued, you once told me you liked watches, so I found the most expensive one I could buy. I wanted to give you the other one, the one Leo had, but you were always so busy, always had something more important to do. I gave it to him to make you jealous, to make you finally look at me. I truly regret that. I made sure the call was being recorded before I spoke again, my voice slow and deliberate. The shares are valuable. I'll accept them, and I won't sell them unless there's a compelling reason. The watch is nice, I'll accept that too. But you, Chloe, I don't want. Are you absolutely certain you want to proceed with this gift? It's a voluntary gift. It's my apology to you, she said, her voice thick with emotion. Ethan, you think I don't love you, but I do. I went about it all the wrong way. I shrugged to myself. Since it's a voluntary gift, I see no reason to refuse. We can call it compensation for my pain and suffering. Thank you. I made sure the last two words sounded completely sincere, and then I hung up the phone. As the line went dead, my mind started to drift. Chloe and I used to be so close. Back in middle school, my father was in a meeting with the Vanderbilts when, in a ridiculously cliché turn of events, a kidnapping attempt took place. He nearly died saving Chloe's mother, Mrs. Vanderbilt. Afterward, she asked him, tears streaming down her face, how she could ever repay him. He answered weakly, I have a son at home. I worry I won't always be there to look after him. My father was a brilliant strategist. A monetary reward would be a one-time transaction, but marrying his son to the Vanderbilt heiress? That would secure our family's fortune for generations. He didn't have to say the rest. Mrs. Vanderbilt understood. Overcome with emotion, she agreed on the spot. Then let Chloe be engaged to your son. A good man like you must have a kind and respectable son. But the truth was, Chloe and I already knew each other. She sat behind me in class and was constantly poking me with her pen cap. I'd turn around to glare at her, and she'd just grin and ask, are you hungry? I can go buy you a snack. Don't you have work to do? I'd snap before turning back around. It never bothered her. She brought me snacks every single day, even giving me the ones that other boys left in her desk for her. I told her coldly, I don't want other people's leftovers. Okay, then from now on I'll only give you things I buy myself, she said, gathering up the other snacks to throw them out. If you don't want them, why don't you just refuse them in the first place? You're just wasting their money. I try to say no, but they insist. It's just like how you say no, but I insist on giving them to you anyway. I fell silent, turned back to my desk, and went back to my work. Later, I injured my knee and couldn't run in the school's track meet. Everyone told me, you're the class president, you have to set an example. Just push through the pain. But it was Chloe who slammed her hand on a desk and stood up. So what if he doesn't run? Are you going to force him? If you're that desperate for a runner, I'll cut my hair and run in his place. The whole room went quiet. After that, I started being nicer to her. She was a bit of an airhead, that silly rich girl. We started walking to and from school together, playing video games, and I'd help her with her homework. She was always calling my name, Ethan, Ethan, and was constantly buying me new basketball shoes. Ethan, you look so cool when you play basketball, she'd say. Then one day, she showed up looking miserable. When I asked what was wrong, she said, my mom told me I have to get engaged. I'm still just a kid. I tried to comfort her. It's probably a good match, someone from a good family. She just kept crying. Then I thought for a second. You know, my dad actually mentioned he'd arranged something for me too. You don't think? Her head snapped up, her eyes wide as it all clicked into place. She burst into tears of joy. Oh my God, really? I can't believe my wish actually came true. Later, in high school, we were in different academic tracks. I was buried in homework every night, while she spent most of her time trying to get me to hang out with her. When I told her I had to study, she would just sit quietly beside me, her chin in her hands, and watch. Whenever she had a dance recital, she would beg me to come. Ethan, all the other girls have their boyfriends in the audience with flowers. You're my fiancé. You have to be there. Then one day, I had to turn her down because I had an academic competition of my own. Do you really have to go? She asked. This competition is really important, I explained. It's my chance to prove myself, and I don't want to let my mentors down. This is my choice. She said, out of the blue, when we get married, all the Vanderbilt money will be yours anyway. What difference does all this hard work make? I was silent for a long time. I'm sorry, I finally said. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not the same thing. She just nodded, said, okay, and walked away. And then all the recent events came flooding back, each memory a fresh wound, leaving an indelible scar on my heart. As I came back to the present, a single tear escaped and rolled down my cheek. When had this massive, unbridgeable chasm opened up between us? The internet was suddenly flooded with stories about Leo Hayes. Stories about him being a homewrecker, about him promoting shoddy products and scamming his followers. Everyone finally realized who the real villain was in those photos that went viral. I watched as Leo posted a frantic, rambling explanation, but the comment section was brutal. Person after person came forward, claiming his products had given them chemical burns and rashes. Was it satisfying to watch his downfall? I wasn't sure. With enough money and influence, you could make public opinion say whatever you wanted it to. A text came through from an unknown number. It was Leo. I'm so sorry. I know I was wrong. I knew she had a fiancé, but I thought you two weren't serious. I'm begging you. Please, can you call her off? Tell Chloe to leave me alone. I was just a pawn in her game. I could almost picture his handsome, perfect face, now pale with terror. I blocked the number. The comments, which had been silent for a while, flickered back into existence. But they were slower this time, more hesitant than before. This plot feels wrong now. What's wrong with it? I was afraid to say anything before because everyone was on Chloe's side. Seriously, how is she even worthy of Ethan? Yeah, I know she never slept with Leo and was just using him to make Ethan jealous, but she still spent a fortune on him. It just feels wrong. But if you think about it, she only spent that money to make Ethan jealous. So in a way, she was spending it for Ethan, right? Are you insane? What kind of logic is that? Stop fighting. Isn't this ending fine? Honestly, I usually want the main couple to end up together, but in this case, maybe Ethan is better off alone. They were right. Why did I have to be tied to Chloe? Without her, I was living just fine. In fact, I was better than fine. I was free. Just then, the comments began to fade, turning transparent before my eyes. I stared, watching as the very last one scrolled past before disappearing for good. Everyone is different. You can't force a connection. But I always hope that every protagonist finds their own path, instead of just becoming an accessory to someone else's story. Maybe that was the whole point of us being here. My mind lingered on that last message. My dream had always been to build my own career in finance. Chloe had attacked my father's company to try and control me. Now, she was cautiously asking if I needed her help to fix it. My answer was simple. No. I felt no connection to my father or his side of the family. I was going to build a new life for myself, and anyone who stood in my way was going to be cut out of it. The consequence of this decision was a constant barrage of messages in the family group chat. My cousin, Ethan, you have to get Chloe to stop. Is she insane? She's destroying the company. How does that help you? My other cousin, we know you two made up. Can you please just call off the attack dogs? I replied calmly. Even if she wasn't doing it, I would have dismantled Miller Corp myself sooner or later. After sending the message, I left the family group chat that had brought me nothing but misery. I had a new annoyance in my life. Not only was Chloe constantly harassing me, but Lily had also returned to New York and somehow gotten my number. She would text me periodically, which would inevitably be discovered by Chloe, leading to some new, dramatic fight between the two of them. I wanted nothing to do with either of them, but every time I blocked a number, a new one would pop up. I was tempted to file a restraining order, but the harassment wasn't constant, and sometimes the apology gifts they sent were actually quite nice. It seemed a shame to let them go to waste. Then one day I was in a parking garage. I had just unlocked my car when a man lunged at me with a knife. I braced for the impact, but it never came. Someone shoved me hard from the side, sending me sprawling to the concrete floor. The smell of damp concrete and rust filled my nostrils. I looked up and saw the attacker clearly. It was my father, his face twisted in a mask of pure hatred. I raised a snake. An ungrateful bastard. I'll kill you. Chloe, clutching a bleeding wound in her side, shoved my father away from me. Seconds later, security guards appeared and wrestled him to the ground. I met my father's crazed eyes, my voice ice cold. Having you as a father was the greatest misfortune of my life. He was dragged away, screaming and struggling, but it was useless. Enjoy the rest of your life in prison, I said with a smile. For decency's sake, I took Chloe to the hospital. She gripped my hand the entire way, her forehead beaded with sweat from the pain. I looked at her. Did you pay him to do this? Another one of your damsel in distress schemes. Chloe looked at me, her eyes wide with disbelief, her fingers trembling. Is that really what you think of me? Well, you have a history of it, I said, looking away. Her voice started to crack, and I cut her off. In any case, he's going to prison. I'm satisfied with that outcome. She leaned her head weakly against my shoulder. I would never risk my own life for a stunt like that. I'll cover your medical bills, but I'm leaving as soon as we get to the hospital. All the fight seemed to drain out of her. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm so sorry. I didn't answer. She gave a sad, broken smile. I brought all of this on myself. When I left the hospital, the sun was shining brightly. I squinted, raising a hand to shield my eyes. My assistant called. Mr. Miller, there are a few documents that need your signature. Okay, I'm on my way to the office now. I called for my car. While I was waiting, a young woman rushed past me, arguing into her phone. I heard you and Mom talking about changing my major on my college applications, she yelled. Can you please respect my choices for once? You're going to cut me off? That's the only threat you've ever known how to use. Am I not allowed to have my own dreams? Her angry words dissolved into sobs. I tapped her on the shoulder. If you're determined to follow your dream, then you should do it. I can help you. She looked up at me, stunned. After a moment, she wiped her eyes. You can? Really? I have great grades. I promise I won't let you down. I smiled.